Hello, Purpose family. Welcome back to day 3 of our 30 days of purpose in June. I hope this has been helpful so far, and I want to say thank you for committing to this process of discovering, developing, and eventually deploying your life's purpose. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that sounds fun, but is also very powerful. And it is your interests and passions. So let's unpack how what you enjoy doing can be a big clue about what you were created to do. So what are interests and what are passions? I'm going to share some questions, right, that you can reflect on to help you answer what your interests and what your passions are. So first is, what do you naturally gravitate towards when you have free time? What do you talk about without effort? What do you lose track of time you're doing? Right, these things are more than hobbies or just passing interest. The truth is, they are compasses pointing you towards parts of your life's purpose. Now, don't get me wrong. Not everything that you do is your interest or your passion as it relates to your life's purpose. For example, spending hours on social media just scrolling without any aim or direction. The truth is that hidden within your interest are seeds of passion that God may want to nurture into something powerful. Yes. For me, I have always loved encouraging people, especially helping people to see their value and rise into their calling, into their purpose. So over time, that love for encouraging others, for encouragement, has developed into coaching, has developed into me mentoring, right, writing books, and creating purpose-driven content like I am doing right now. But here's the thing. I didn't start with the big picture. I have just followed what I have loved, and like I shared in previous videos, in times of uncertainty, in times of things not being clear, began to find out, began to seek, and just gaining clarity for what I was burdened for. Now, God has used that to shape my purpose and refine my voice. Okay, now I'm going to give you an exercise for you to brainstorm on, right? An activity that you probably would enjoy. So grab your journal or your phone notes. I want you to think about 10 things you enjoy doing, at least 10 things, right? 10 things that you enjoy doing. So here are some prompts for you to get started with. What energizes you? Yes, what energizes you? What makes you, feel motivated, energetic? What do others come to you for? What would you do for free because it brings you joy? Because you just love it? What problems are you passionate about solving? What makes you angry in a righteous way? Like injustice, like ignorance, Now, once you have listed those things, 10 of them, or at least 10 of them, take a step back and look for themes. Recurrent themes, along or around those things that you have listed. Do you see a thread of teaching, of encouragement, of healing, of creating, or it could even be organizing and arranging things, or mentoring or leading? Now, that recurring pattern that you see is important. Yes, because your purpose often lives at the intersection of your passion and someone else's needs. Now, let's look at, I'm just going to share a biblical example. Okay, and let's use David. David in the Bible, he loved worship. He loved music. Now, that interest wasn't random. It led to him writing psalms that still minister to me and you today. Through his worship and his music, he was recommended in the palace, right? Before a king. The Bible does not tell us who recommended him, but this was just what he loved to do. In the bush, looking after sheep, looking after cattle, looking after his father's flock. So what am I saying? That interest, that passion for David set him before kings. So what makes your own heart come alive may also be what God wants to use you to bless others. So as you reflect, ask yourself, what activities make me happy? Right? What do I feel deeply passionate or burdened about? How might God be asking me to develop this interest and passions further? Now, remember that passion alone isn't purpose. It's often the starting point. When you develop it, right, with your interest, it can mature into powerful tools of transformation and lead you into your purpose. So, day 3, list 10 activities you enjoy. Circle the top 3 that brings you joy and energy. Look for patterns, what themes show up, and begin to walk in that light and see how you can further develop them right into fulfilling your purpose. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at your gifts and talents, another major piece of the purpose puzzle. So make sure to subscribe, right? Like this channel if it has blessed you, ministered to you, inspired you, and please share with others. Also share your comments, your discoveries in the comment box, and then remember that you were created for a purpose and you were created